have more turkey hunters and we harvest more birds in the spring than most states in the country. In terms of turkey hunters, we have 232,000 spring turkey hunters on average, which has been relatively stable for the last decade, and it's actually increased since the mid-1990s. Those 232,000 spring turkey hunters is almost twice as many as the second highest state in the country, which is Missouri. Pennsylvania does have some limiting factors for our turkey populations, mainly spring reproduction and the quality of the habitat. In terms of spring reproduction, that's usually dictated by the weather. For example, if it's a cold and wet spring, then nest success and survival of the young turkeys is typically low. But during years of warm, dry springs, we typically have excellent reproduction. In terms of habitat, most of our 1.5 million acres of state game lands is in turkey habitat, and we manage many of our game lands specifically for wild turkeys. The overall prediction for this year's spring harvest really depends on the wildlife management unit and also varies within each wildlife management unit. But overall, 17 of our 23 wildlife management units where we predict the spring harvest to be either equal to last year or increase from last year. Our spring turkey harvest fluctuates considerably from year to year. In 2014, we harvested about 40,000 turkeys. That was third only to Texas and Missouri. The harvest as well as hunter success varies for two reasons. One is a social factor and another is a biological factor. In terms of the social factor, hunters in Pennsylvania typically select for the older age class birds, those with the longer beards and the longer spurs. Because of that social factor, our hunter success is only about 17% in Pennsylvania. So that selectivity for that older age class bird actually allows the jakes to remain in the population for next year. When there's an above average proportion of 2-year-olds, then harvest typically increases. When there's a lower proportion, then harvest usually decreases. And that's because those 2-year-old birds are the ones that are becoming dominant gobblers in the population, and they're the most vocal birds, and they also most readily come to hunters' calls. This year in Pennsylvania, we have an above average proportion of 2-year-olds, so we expect the overall harvest to be slightly higher than last year. So your overall hunter success is really going to depend on your local area, the age structure of your local population. And so that's why preseason scouting is so vital, so that you understand the age structure of your local population and you'll know where to hunt. You'll know where those 2-year-old birds are perhaps from the amount of gobbling. In terms of safety, fluorescent orange is not required in Pennsylvania for the spring season, but the Pennsylvania Game Commission highly recommends a fluorescent orange hat, which is 100 square inches, while the hunter is moving. So the strategy in spring turkey hunting is calling the bird into you, and practicing calling before the season is a great way to enhance your success rate, but you really don't have to be an expert caller. The idea is to call the bird into you, as stalking is illegal in Pennsylvania and it's just not safe. So your hunter success somewhat is dictated by your strategy. The best strategy really is to be still and be patient. You want to be able to stay at your setup for as long as possible. The key to calling is really to make the gobbler interested. So if he seems that he's not interested, you can try different calling techniques, you can try different calls, or you can try no calling at all. The youth turkey season for hunters age 16 and under is the Saturday prior to the regular season opener. Now, the regular season in Pennsylvania is biologically timed so that it opens when the majority of hens are actually incubating their nests. And in that respect, hens are less prone to being disturbed as well as to being accidentally harvested. So that season opener is the Saturday closest to May 1st in Pennsylvania. The season closes each day at noon until the third Monday of the season, at which time it's an all-day spring season. Throughout the season, please make safety first by being sure of your target. So once you do successfully bag your bird, don't forget to tag it, report it, and share it. And also, please report any leg-banded birds by calling the toll-free number that's listed on the leg band. Spring turkey hunting is a great opportunity to not only try your hand at harvesting a bird, but also witnessing firsthand the emergence of spring.